think the biggest challenge they will be having is the defensive aspect.
Even though America is one of the host nations, I don't exclusively think America is going to win the match.
Welcome, sports fans. The World Cup is here. The 23rd edition is here. The United States of America will be hosting Paraguay in their first group match, and the Pochettino-led side versus the Alfaro Gustavo-led side. I have here with me in the studio Albert Israel, the Big Sense. You are welcome to the show.
Legendary.
Chima Samuel, maintaining his position. Chima Samuel Iho, Chief Special. You are welcome to the show.
Thank you.
I'm starting with you, Albert. Mauricio Pochettino, the coach of the United States of America, will be hosting Alvaro Gustavo, the Paraguayan side. Alvaro Gustavo happens to be the coach of the Paraguayan side. What do you think will be the outcome of that game?
Yes, it's a nice one. Everybody have been engulfed with the World Cup fever. Every World Cup comes with its own buzz, razzmatazz, and adrenaline. But you see, the coaches have a role to play, but then the class of player, their experiences as well have a very, very big role to play, because on the pitch of play, most times I've seen where a lot of players, looking at Maradona, Jorge Agui, Stefan Effenberg, Rai of Brazil, single-handedly have changed the dynamics of the game, far from what the coach have actually dished out from the dugout. Now, Alvaro Gustavo is there, Mauricio Pochettino is there. Yeah. And don't forget, Paraguay, on one hand, they are from the South American side. US one side is from North American side. Now, en route the qualifier, they shocked Brazil and Argentina in the course they won these two World Cup holding nations. And Paraguay, their highest level at the World Cup stage was in 2010, in which Spain won them in the quarterfinal stage. The goal was scored by David Villa in South Africa 2010. And this is their sixth edition at the World Cup Mundial. Though they have players, but not actually those players that have European dominance. People like Julius Enciso that left Brighton and Hove Albion to Strasbourg of France, as well as Miguel Amorim that left Newcastle to America. But America, on the other hand, have a handful of players that are playing good football in Europe and with good teams. People like Ricardo Pepi, Malik Tillman, Christian Pulisic of AC Milan, Timothy Weah, Christian McKennie, Balogun, and all of them. But you see, experience most time counts, right? But most times, the compatibility of a team, the synergy of a team actually speaks more volume when it comes down or on the pitch, the resilience and how they make up in the team. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? Because you may have players. I remember the Madrid team of 2001 and 2002, where you have the Beckham, the Zidane, and all of them. But at the end of the day, after the Champions League triumph in which Zidane scored a 360-degree half volley, right? They never won the Champions League for a period of time, given that they have class of player. So it now has to do with the compatibility of a team. So, but it's a North American team and a South American team going headlong in the 2026 World Cup first leg. But given that America as well is one of the host nations, they are going to be playing against the third party, which is the fans. But at the end of the day, I think the both of them are from the North America and South America. The coach from the dugout and the class of player, and how they make up their team will actually give out what is going to be the scores at the end of the day.
Chima, do you think playing at home will give the United States an edge over Paraguay?
And normally, when you are playing at home, you should have an advantage, over your opponent. But I think in this case of the USA, I think so many controversies, so many issues, concerning this World Cup might really affect the team's performance, might really affect the home advantage that the US are supposed to be having. But firstly, I think I am not of that opinion. FIFA should be giving World Cup nations, to 2-3 nations. I feel FIFA should end that kind of World Cup because it's causing a whole lot of controversy. I feel like US has the capacity to host the World Cup alone. Mexico, they've done it before. So why co-hosting with Mexico? Why co-hosting with Canada? Then causing a whole lot of issues. So, but apart from this football game, US have overshadowed the World Cup on its own, and somehow mentally it could play a major role on the players. Because right now,
the Paraguayan players,
the US players, because as it stands like this now, it's as if somehow the world might be against the US, and the US players somehow might not be too comfortable playing this World Cup games, considering the fact that so many challenges have happened, in this World Cup. Because now for fans to turn up in the stadium, as of now, I heard so many tickets have not been bought, and then if tickets have not been bought, then who are those that will come out to even hotels have not been paid for. So no hotels being paid for hotel is going to come from maybe Africa or maybe from the visitors, but we'll talk about home team, talk about home fans, and then we are going to have 3 opening ceremony. That 3 opening ceremony, one will go to Mexico, one will go to US, one will go to Canada. So for me, I feel it does not really bring out the real glamour in this tournament. So a whole lot of things have happened, because if Donald Trump, did not really, I feel Donald Trump is one of the biggest presidents in the world, and US is one of the biggest. Okay, let me just put it like that. And then US is one of the biggest countries in the world right now, and they are facing some kind of challenges in terms of security. So there are issues with Iran and the rest of the world. So I feel like 2018, when Infantino awarded them the hosting right, I feel like this kind of thing should have been discussed with Donald Trump.
They never knew that the Iranian problem was going to
and if the problem is coming up now, it shouldn't affect World Cup, because government and football sometimes do not just go the same way. But then coming to the football proper, US have a very good squad to play. They played against Paraguay 9 times, and US is having the edge. They've won 5 times, and then Paraguay rather have won twice. Then they drew 2. So definitely US is having a very big advantage in this. In this game again. But then if you check out the players that are going to play, one of the biggest challenge or the biggest news about the US squad is dropping of Yunus Musa, because Yunus Musa that played for AC Milan, he went on loan to Atalanta. He did not really have enough time to play there. He was not given much playing time there. So because of that, I think Pochettino decided to drop him. But I heard that last year 2025 they were playing Gold Cup in US. I think he refused to come because he said he needed more time to focus more on the club this team. And then they just employed Pochettino. So but Pochettino did not really have enough time to watch him play for the US. So I think that has affected him, not having enough time playing, not enough playing time for Atalanta. And then in your national team as well too, you are not playing regularly. So I feel like
was he called up? No.
He was not called up. That's what I'm saying, because he's one of the biggest players that should have been in this World Cup, because last World Cup he was so amazing. He played so well in that last World Cup. But then we have other good players, Matt Freeze, that plays for New York City. Yes, we have Alex Freeman for Villarreal. We have Chris Richard for Crystal Palace. We have Tim Rehn for Charlotte FC. We have Sergina Dest for PSV Eindhoven in Netherlands. We have Tyler Adams for AS Bournemouth. We have Malik Tillman for PSV Eindhoven. We have Anthony Robinson, Fulham. We have Timothy Weah, Juventus. We have Christian Pulisic, AC Milan. We have Folani Balogun, AS Monaco. So I think this might be the possible lineup. Yeah, and these players are as well very, very good. But then one thing I love about Pochettino is that the kind of friendly matches he arranged before this games. I think they are good friendly games, because I saw some kind of games he played. I think he played against Senegal. He beat Senegal 3-2, which was a very good one, because Senegal is an African champion, and then it's not easy to beat Senegal as well too, because when Senegal played against England, they won England 3-0. I think 3-1 in that game.
3-1.
Now US played against Germany on the June 6th. They lost to Germany 2-1, which is still preparation for this World Cup. So losing to Germany 2-1 is not a bad one, because it's a friendly game, and then you are there to test one or two things. Then coming to Portugal, they played Portugal. They lost 2-0 to Portugal. It's not a bad one too as well, because Portugal has a very, very good squad as well too. A lot of good players playing in Europe. They played against Belgium. They lost 5-2 to Belgium. So I think one thing I love about the team is the ability to score goals. At least they were able to score 2 against Belgium. They scored 3 against Senegal. Scored 1 against Germany. So I think on a very good day, the likes of Balogun and Pulisic, if they combine very well, they can score goals. With Timothy Weah. But I think the biggest challenge they will be having is the defensive aspect. And that defensive aspect, that is where the composure comes in. That is where Pochettino need to work on very, very well against Paraguay. If not, it might be a very big challenge. But I think with this US squad, I believe they can do something better.
Albert, what formation do you think Gustavo Alfaro would deploy to keep Christian Pulisic and Balogun Folarin and Timothy Weah, to keep them at bay?
It's a South American pattern. South America have an historical, traditional way of playing their football, different from that of North America. You know, back then we used to see Colombia, Paraguay, Chile, Peru, Bolivia. Back then, when we were growing up, when they were qualifying the World Cup, we see them coming a kind of a formation. Most times, they like playing 4 defense, 5 midfield, and a lone striker that knows how to head the ball and very, very powerful. And don't forget, these nations as well are nations that have black players in their mix. So now, the both teams are going to go headlong. One South American team, one North American team, and they know what it takes. Chima tried to state about the class of player they have, the American side have. It's a very, very nice one. But don't forget, the last time America, the last time the US, the highest level in the World Cup is in the inaugural edition of the World Cup, which was hosted in Uruguay in 1930. And that was the first World Cup and the only World Cup that there was nothing like a third place playoff. They only gave them unanimously outside Yugoslavia. You know, they said they performed better than Yugoslavia. So they just awarded them that third place finish. Are you getting it?
I think
Yugoslavia?
There were about 8 nations that played that World Cup.
Yes, it's a World Cup now. You like it? It's a World Cup. Even though it's 4 nations. Even when Zaire qualified, present day Congo DR in 1974. How many were there in the World Cup? You understand? But everything has its own history. But at the end of the day, most times, it's not the class of player. We see a lot of upsets. Nigeria won Bulgaria 3-0 in US 94. I remember vividly as a teenager growing up. But they were out to play in the third place. Are you getting it? But there's something about the World Cup stage and the World Cup, even in Nations Cup. But let's put it World Cup. Let's subject it to World Cup. There's always a surprise. Because every game comes with its own game pattern and its game style. And don't forget, in the just concluded World Cup, that Argentina is the holders of the World Cup 2022. Saudi Arabia won Argentina 2-1. They came from 1 goal down, one side, Argentina 2-1. Highly compacted Argentina side with the Messis, with the Rodrigo Paul, all of them. But at the end of the day, the same Argentina went ahead to win the World Cup. So every game comes with its own game plan, its formation, and its approach to game. That's why most times in football, a coach will tell you, a good coach will tell you, don't lose your first chance or don't lose chances. Convert your chances because it could be only the chance you have in a game. So the game will be a 10 upon 10. Even though America is one of the host nations, I don't exclusively think America is going to win the match because it actually cited 1 or 2 issues outside football that has to do with politics, the Iran issue, the political saga, the Trump issues and all of that. It can take a toll, the fans and all of that. But at the end of the day, I know that the players will be playing with their pride and dignity, wanting to show that, yes, we're playing for this club, not a fluke. We have the class. We have what it takes to play in AC Milan and other big clubs. But at the end of the 90 minutes, is always where we're going to have the final judgment.
Okay, Chima, do you think that Mauricio Pochettino will use either the high line or the low block?
I think playing the kind of football Pochettino plays when he was in Tottenham Hotspur, he played a very, very attacking, football. So coming to this game, I don't know the US setup, but definitely with the kind of players I've seen in this squad, he's going to play very, very attacking football because first of all, you playing at home, you playing your first game, and against a team like Paraguay, even though Paraguay is not a team to push over easily because these South American teams, they are always very good. Even the smallest team among South American teams cannot just be pushed over like that. They know how to play all this kind of trickish football. But then Pochettino, as a big coach, he knows what to expect in your first game. I feel he's going to attack very well. He's going to play an eye-line game. Then, depending on maybe the first 30 minutes or 20 minutes, so
or the outcome of the
depending on the outcome of the game. So when you see the Paraguay, because the Paraguay, when you see the way they come at you, then definitely might decide to change the pattern. But for now, I feel they are going to attack because they will need the game more. They will need to score goals as early as the first 20-25 minutes. So US are going to attack more. But then Paraguay also, it's not a team you can just push over easily.
Albert, lastly, who needs the game more? Being considering that it's the first game, who needs that 3 points more? Is it the US or Paraguay?
I think three points need the game more. in every first game of any major tournament, your first match is as if you are playing in the last match because you actually need, if not 3 points, you need to salvage a point because that underscores where you are going to get to at the group stage. So the both teams need the match. See, that's why I'm not writing off a team like Paraguay. They are just some distance away from one another in terms of their geographical location and all of that. So they are familiar foes. They know themselves very, very well. You get what I'm trying to say? So, but the both of them need their match. By virtue of hosting, you will say America need it. But Paraguay as well need it. Are you get what I'm trying to say? So, but at the end of the day, I think the coaches really have a big role to play in what's going to be the outcome of the match.
Chima, your prediction. Paraguay, US versus Paraguay. What do you think the scoreline will be?
US versus Paraguay. I think with what I've seen so far, I've not really watched the Paraguay team, but I can see them scoring US as well. To maybe I might leave the game at 1-1, maybe 1-1.
1-1. That's Chima's prediction. How about your prediction?
3-1 to go anywhere. 3-1.
No, just
It shouldn't be anywhere.
anywhere. No, just be specific.
Okay.
Don't be funny.
Okay. 2-1.
2-1 in favor of the US.
America.
Okay. And I go with 2-1 in favor of the United States of America. So, sports fans, that's the end of this segment. I urge you guys to subscribe to our channel, like and share. Thank you and God bless you all.